Airport after a two-day state visit. His Majesty the Sultan and His Majesty the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain welcome in a communique the establishment of the Omani Bahraini Investment Company and the importance of expanding the horizons of economic and investment cooperation and partnership. And the Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain sign in Muscat 25 Memoranda of Understanding agreements and executive programs in various fields. Welcome to our news center. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa held a fraternal meeting today at Al Barakah Palace. The two leaders exchanged cordial talks and reviewed the march of deep historical relations between both countries, as well as cooperation aspects between them. They affirm their continuous foresight and keenness to push them forward for further progress and prosperity for both nations. The meeting was attended by a number of Their Highnesses and Excellencies, while it was attended from the Bahraini side by the official delegation accompanied His Majesty the King. After that, His Majesty the Sultan hosted a special luncheon in honor of His Majesty the King and his accompanying delegation. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq bid farewell to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, upon his departure from the Royal Airport today after a two-day state visit to the Sultanate of Oman. His Majesty wished the King of Bahrain a safe return to his home country. During the farewell, His Majesty the Sultan was accompanied by His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for Defence Affairs, His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court, His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal Al Busaidi, Minister of Interior, Head of the Honorary Mission, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, His Excellency Sayyid Faisal bin Harab Al Busaidi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Kingdom of Bahrain, His Excellency Dr. Jum'a bin Ahmed Al Ka'bi, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the Sultanate of Oman, and members of the Honorary Mission accompanying His Majesty the King. And a high level of official delegation accompanied His Majesty the King of Bahrain during the visit. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, welcomed the establishment of the Omani Bahraini Investment Company, stressing the importance of expanding the horizons of cooperation, economic and investment partnership by exploring the developing more opportunities and encouraging the public and private sectors to diversify their fields in a way that meets the aspirations of the two countries and their peoples. The communique issued today today on the occasion of the visit of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, to the Sultanate of Oman on January 14th and 15th, 2025, stated the following. Based on the strong historical ties between the Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain and the close fraternal relations between His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, Sultan of Oman, and His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and in order to enhance the strong bilateral relations between the two countries, His Majesty the Sultan received His Majesty the King, who arrived as a dear guest to the Sultanate of Oman, accompanied by a high-level delegation on a state visit on Tuesday and Wednesday, January 14th and 15th, 2025. During the visit, extensive bilateral talks were held in an atmosphere of sincere brotherhood, during which they reviewed the progress of joint work, close bilateral cooperation, and the strength of the existing ties between the two sides. The two leaders praised the growth of relations and mutual interest, stressing the importance of expanding the horizons of cooperation and economic partnership by exploring and developing more opportunities and encouraging the public and private sectors to diversify the areas of economic and investment partnership in a way that meets the aspirations of the two countries and peoples. In this regard, they welcomed the establishment of the Omani-Bahraini Investment Company, wishing it success. The visit witnessed the signing of a number of agreements and memorandums of understanding and executive programs in various fields of interest of both sides, including various sectors and a number of other areas of common interest that would enhance the partnership between the two countries. The two sides praised the success of work of the Omani-Bahraini Joint Committee and its active role in enhancing bilateral cooperation and implementing joint projects that serve the interests of the both countries. Stressing the importance of continuing its efforts and developing new areas of partnership to achieve their common aspirations, including encouraging economic and investment initiatives between the public and private sectors. The two leaders discussed the progress of the Gulf Cooperation Council and the remarkable achievements made in the fields of joint Gulf action and towards more interconnection, cooperation and integration between the Council countries for the good and benefit of their peoples. The two sides discussed a number of regional and international issues and developments of common interest, stressing the importance of setting disputes and differences through peaceful means and the need to enhance dialogue and international cooperation to support efforts that achieve security and stability in the region and the world, stressing the importance of enhancing consultation and intensifying coordination in their positions to serve common interests and strengthen the pillars of stability, security and prosperity for all peoples of the region and the world as a whole. At the end of the visit, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa expressed his sincere thanks and appreciation to His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq for the warm welcome and generous hospitality accorded to His Majesty and the accompanying delegation. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq expressed his best wishes for good health and wellness for His Majesty the King and for further progress and prosperity for the Kingdom and the Bahraini people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, met today at Al Alam Palace in Muscat with a number of members of the Oman and Bahrain Chambers of Commerce and Industry and members of the Board of Directors of the Oman Bahrain Investment Company, with the aim of enhancing trade exchange between the two countries. During the meeting, His Majesty listened to a detailed explanation of the plan of the Oman and Bahrain Investment Company, expressing his satisfaction with the steps taken to achieve the company's goals, which will contribute to activating bilateral investments between the two countries by providing investment opportunities for private sector companies on both sides. The meeting discussed the sectors in which the company and the authorized capital of 10 million Omani riyals can enter, which are in line with the various visions of the two countries to achieve development trends, especially in the fields of food security and logistics. The meeting reviewed the investment opportunities available to the private sector in both countries to achieve investment projects that benefit the two countries and their peoples. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal al-Busaidi, Minister of Interior, head of the honorary mission. His Excellency Sayyid Faisal bin Harb al-Busaidi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the Kingdom of Bahrain, and His Excellency Dr. Jum'a bin Ahmed al-Ka'bi, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the Sultanate of Oman, and a number of officials from both sides. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, visited the Royal Opera House Muscat as part of His Majesty's state visit to the Sultanate of Oman. His Majesty toured the house and listened to a brief explanation of its sections, facilities and the nature of its shows it presents, as well as the seasons, its programs throughout the year. In addition to the equipment it includes, which are considered one of the most modern equipment used in the field of international musical performances. During his tour, His Majesty was briefed on the architectural richness that distinguishes the house's engineering design, which highlights the Omani architectural cultural heritage mixed with architectural culture from different continents of the world. On the occasion of His Majesty's visit, the house presented a musical show performed by the jazz band and the second bagpipe and drums group of the Royal Guards of Oman. At the end of the visit to the house, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, signed the senior guest register, expressing his happiness at visiting the Royal Opera House, Muscat. His Majesty the King described the house as a true embodiment of art and culture in the Sultanate of Oman and a symbol of advancement and expression of the Omani identity, rich in culture, creativity and renewal, stressing that culture and art represent a bridge that connects generations and contributes to enhancing human values and understanding between different cultures. His Majesty was accompanied during the visit by His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal al-Busaidi, Minister of Interior and head of the honorary mission, members of the Board of Directors of the Royal Opera House Muscat, and the official delegation accompanying His Majesty. The Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain signed at Al Bustan Palace 25 memoranda of understanding, agreements and executive programs covering various fields. Here is a report.
The Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain signed at Al Bustan Palace 25 memoranda of understanding, agreements and executive programs covering the cultural, scientific, social, health, media, financial, economic, food security, municipal work, meteorology, and other fields, within the framework of a state visit by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the Sultanate of Oman. The Memoranda of Understanding included the signing of a memorandum in the health field between the Ministry of Health and its counterpart in the Kingdom of Bahrain, a memorandum in the media field between the Ministries of Information in both countries, a memorandum of understanding in the field of work and human resources development between the Ministries of Labor in both countries, a memorandum of understanding in the field of agricultural and animal production and development and food security between the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources and the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and a memorandum of understanding in the educational field between the Ministries of Education in both countries. The memoranda also included the signing of a memorandum in the field of meteorology between the Civil Aviation Authority and the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications of Bahrain. Two memoranda in the fields of endowments and zakat between the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs and the Ministry of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A memorandum in the field of public administration between the Royal Academy of Administration and the Institute of Public Administration in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and a memorandum in the field of capacity building to combat human trafficking between the National Committee to Combat Human Trafficking and the Bahraini Labor Market Regulatory Authority. It included the signing of a memorandum in the field of insurance and social protection between the Social Protection Fund and the Social Insurance Authority in the Kingdom of Bahrain, a memorandum in the field of organizing exhibitions and conferences between the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion and the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority, a memorandum in the field of investment promotion, a memorandum in the field of intellectual property, a memorandum in the field of the industrial sector, and a memorandum in the field of analysis and stamping of precious metals and examination of valuable stones, signed by the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion and the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The two sides signed an agreement to eliminate double taxation between the tax authority and the Bahrain National Bureau of Revenue, a memorandum of understanding in the field of investment between the Oman Investment Authority and Bahraini Mumtalakat Holding Company, a memorandum of understanding in the field of establishing, developing, and managing economic and industrial zones between the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones and the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in Bahrain, and a memorandum of understanding in the field of stock exchange between the Muscat and Bahrain stock exchanges. The two countries also signed for executive programs in the field of ensuring the quality of school education between the Academic Accreditation and the Quality Assurance Authority for Education and Training in the Kingdom of Bahrain, the field of museum work between the National Museum and the Bahrain National Museum, and municipal work for the years 2025-2026. Signed by the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and the fields of electricity and renewable energy between the Ministry of Energy and Minerals and the Ministry of Electricity and Water Affairs in Bahrain.
His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, received His Excellency Abdullah bin Adil Fakhru, Minister of Industry and Commerce in the Kingdom of Bahrain, on the sidelines of the state visit of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the Sultanate of Oman. During the meeting, both sides discussed aspects of cooperation between the two countries in the fields of investments, industry and trade, cooperation in the field of intellectual property. The two sides also discussed the importance of cooperation in the field of mining and the exchange of expertise in the field of exhibition management. Still to come in our news bulletin. The National Museum hosts an art exhibition titled New Pathways for the American artist Madeline Diaz. Welcome back to the News Centre from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The public establishment for industrial estates, Madain, celebrated the inauguration of the infrastructure project in Samail Industrial City. The event was held under the patronage of His Excellency Sheikh Dr. Ali bin Masoud al-Sneidi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones OPAZ. Here is more in the following report.
Strategically nestled in the Dakhliya Governorate near the vital Sultan Turki bin Said Road, Samail Industrial City stands as a gateway to opportunity, connecting Muscat to neighboring governorates. This vision advanced further as Madain celebrated the inauguration of the infrastructure project in the Samail Industrial City to reinforce its role as a hub of industrial growth and economic ambition.
Samail Industrial City in particular is taking now the outflow of investments that we are not able to accommodate them at Rusail Industrial City. And I think its location, very ideally located at this road of Sultan Turki bin Said. It is so close to Muscat, but it's also within the government of Dakhliya. It has access, of course, to many markets, because also what we see now is that the structure, the way this was built, it has identified itself in areas of food, in areas of metals. And what we are doing right now at this second stage of its development is we have completed the infrastructure. So it is basically ready to take the extra flow. But we are also discussing with the government of Dakhliya an expansion to the project, because we feel within the next 10 to 20 years we will be able to get more outflow from projects that want to be near to Muscat.
Spanning 753 hectares and costing over 35 million Omani riyals, Samail Industrial City is equipped with advanced road networks, fiber optics, essential utilities, AI technologies, and state-of-the-art facilities. Divided into multiple industrial sectors, the city offers comprehensive services that cater to both businesses and the community.
We have already about 177 companies in Samail, allotted in Samail. Out of this number, 106 companies under production already. We do have so many sectors. It's divided actually to certain sectors. We have the marble sector, steel and woods, petrochemicals, IT sector, food sector, building material as well. So most of those sectors, the investors, they can just register online, apply for investment in Samail Industrial City. It's very easy through our website, the madain.com. They can apply, they can invest based on their projects. We can evaluate their investment, and we can also allocate them in the industrial city.
The event included an exhibition that showcased a diverse array of products from the city's industrial sectors, reflecting its robust economic potential and wide-ranging contributions, while underscoring its strategic significance as a hub for innovation, manufacturing, and trade. Samail Industrial City stands as a testament to Oman's vision for a thriving industrial future, where innovation meets progress and communities flourish. Reporting for Samail Industrial City, this is Saleh Bakhalfan al-Rahbi, Dakhliya Governorate.
Thank you, Saleh. Voltamp, Oman Transformers, celebrated the expansion of its factory, boosting production capacity by 30% to meet the increasing regional and international demand. More details coming up in the following report.
In response to growing demand from regional and international markets, Voltamp Oman Transformers celebrated the opening of its new factory expansion, increasing production capacity by 30%. This marks a significant advancement in the electrical industry, a vital component of Oman's and the region's infrastructure.
We're proud at Voltamp Energy to be a key player in the manufacturing industry in the Sultanate of Oman. Today, the Omani manufacturing industry in general has proven its ability to really meet the demand for quality manufactured, highly engineered products.
The new factory supports the industrial sector's growth, contributing to Oman Vision 2040, which aims to build a diversified and sustainable economy based on innovation and renewable energy while enhancing local added value.
So part of the expansion that we have done is that we added 2 additional assembly lines. We consolidated all our operations in one location. And we are expecting to increase our production capacity by 30%. We have also geared up in terms of manpower for this by embarking in an ambitious training and development program for local talent. Now we have 50% Omanization in the company.
Voltamp has become a trusted provider for electrical transformers in Gulf and international markets, exporting to over 22 countries. The company also focuses on empowering national talents in manufacturing and meeting the needs of the national economy.
Yeah, we are at Voltamp, we are very excited to inaugurate this expansion facility in Rusail. This facility has been designed in a way that it fulfills the requirement of a lot of customer demand. Primarily, the facility is expanded by 30%. We have automation, and this will fulfill the requirement of renewable energy. We have special products for oil and gas, special products for renewable, and we hope, inshallah, we will fulfill the requirement of increasing demand of distribution transformer, special transformers, and renewable transformers in this plant.
The new factory expansion highlights Voltamp's leading role in supporting Oman's economy and fulfilling the future aspirations of industrial sector with a commitment to innovation and sustainable development. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Ministry of Health has launched the national campaign for tobacco awareness aimed at educating the community about the harmful effects of tobacco and the diseases it causes. During the event, the ministry emphasized that combating tobacco is a shared responsibility that requires collective efforts from both individuals and institutions to achieve a healthy environment. It also highlighted that the growing diversity in methods of tobacco use has become a significant threat due to its rapid spread and increasing popularity. The launch was under the patronage of Her Highness Dr. Muna bint Fahad Al Saeed. The National Museum hosted an art exhibition titled New Pathways for the American artist Madeline Diaz, which displayed various artistic marvels exploring themes of nature and cultural exchange between different nations. Here is a report by Ruqayya.
Visual nourishment, creativity, and distinction reflect the efforts and thoughts of American artist Madeline Diaz in her art exhibition New Paths in the halls of the National Museum in cooperation with the American Embassy in Muscat.
We're delighted to have been able to welcome the American artist Madeline Diaz, who came to Oman and has been exhibiting her art, the exhibit called Caminos. She's also spent some time working with Omani youth on developing landscape paintings that depict the beauty of Oman and explore themes of identity. This is a great example of cultural diplomacy that brings together the Omani and American people for exchange and dialogue on identity and what that means to us. And also, it's just an example of lovely collaboration between the embassy and the National Museum here.
20 artworks, including 16 landscapes inspired by the artist's journeys on the Camino de Santiago in Spain, a path of historical and religious significance since the Middle Ages. As for the still life works, the artist Diaz combined Spanish nature with the agricultural products that the North and South America is famous for.
It's an exploration of my cultural identity. And while being here in Oman, I had the opportunity to work with Omani youth, and I was able to teach them how to use the technique of oil pastel and to explore Omani identity through the landscape of Oman, which is a breathtaking landscape that has mountains, that has the ocean, wadis, palm trees, very, very green, but also very, very dry, but also very humid, lots of blues, lots of beautiful colors. And so the students were encouraged during a 3-day workshop to reflect under national identity, but also individual identity through the lens of the Omani landscape.
Artistic richness is adorned with intellectual and cultural exchange, which produced wonderful works in the training workshop held by the artist at the National Museum's Learning Center.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty the Sultan and His Majesty the King of Bahrain affirmed during a fraternal meeting at Al Barakah Palace the importance of advancing the historical and deep-rooted relations that bind the two countries towards broader horizons in various fields. His Majesty the Sultan bids farewell to His Majesty the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain upon his departure from the Royal Airport after a 2-day state visit. His Majesty the Sultan and His Majesty the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain welcome in a communique the establishment of the Omani Bahraini Investment Company and the importance of expanding the horizons of economic and investment cooperation and partnership. And finally, the Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain sign in Muscat 25 memoranda of understanding agreements and executive programs in various fields. With that, we do come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it is good night and stay safe.